Hello there, AJ. How are you today?
Oh, no. I'm full of emotion.
You're up in your feels.
Oh, I'm full of feeling the emotions today, I'll tell you that.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Listen, don't give the game away too soon. I've got to introduce the episode
I'm
before...
like a James Bond villain has to give away the secret plans before Bond gets killed, and then miraculously Bond survives and the plans are thwarted.
Flaunted?
Thwarted. Thwarted?
Thwarted. The plan foiled.
Foiled. Thank you.
The plans are foiled.
The plan of
Yeah.
Aluminium or aluminum foiled.
Yes.
Jesus.
All right, I'm going to introduce the episode now.
Okay, you do that.
Okay, I'm going to do that. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Songs on the Couch.
Sitting down, we're talking it out. Breaking it down, songs on the couch. Music and minds, we'll figure it out. Laughing and learning what it's all about. On the couch.
Songs on the Couch.
Actually, no, it should be Songs on the Couch.
Yeah, it really should. It really should. Because you're all up in your feels. Because what song are we bringing on over to the couch today?
It's a tough one. We are bringing on over 2002 song from the band My Chemical Romance. That
What's it called, AJ?
Oh,
Do you remember what's it called? Do you remember?
Sorry.
You got to check your notes.
I had a break because something popped up on my computer saying, you are at risk. And I'm like, no, go away. I'm not at risk. Demolition Lovers by My Chemical Romance.
I think with the intensity of this love affair, we are all at risk psychologically.
Look, I'm not going to lie. This song is a bit of a demolition.
It's, it is a song brought to you by Spike, my son's friend Spike. This is one that was requested by him. And look, we're happy to do it, buddy. But I've got to tell you, goddamn, it was not easy. It was not easy. One of those songs, can I start us here?
Go for it.
AJ, can I start us here? One of those songs that actually creates the feeling that it's portraying. Does that make sense? Like musically and, structurally, the structure of the song, the musicality of the song creates the same feeling that the song's trying to portray inside. I'm going to name that feeling. That feeling is, I think that feeling is angst.
Yeah.
That feeling is agitation.
Frustration. I felt frustrated listening to this song.
Frustration. There's like an intensity of all of those feelings too. They're really. It's not just your everyday run-of-the-mill agitation or annoyance. It's like a very intense version of it. No disrespect to the members of My Chemical Romance, but first of all, when the song opened, like, it was very hard to hear the lyrics, and I think, like, it's a parallel to the feelings that they're trying to portray. I'm feeling the feels. I was annoyed by that. I felt lost in that. I felt very. I'm trying to think. Have you got a description of what you felt at the start of that song?
At the start I was like, oh, okay, it's trying to sound like a bit of a lullaby almost. That whispering, type singing, but
and it was far away in the mix.
It was totally far away.
It was far away in the mix, like I couldn't make it out.
It sounded like he was singing through an old telephone. That that crackly, distorted.
Yeah.
Like,
but it was,
or when
it
you're
was
calling
lost.
someone, remember like back in the 90s when you called someone from overseas, you had to yell in the phone because it sounded like they were like
Really far
they
away.
were really far away, but also really far away from the phone microphone. It was like, it's doing really good over here instead of like here when you're on the phone normally. That's what that's what it felt like. I'm like,
yeah, it felt very far away.
and listening to it, I was like, thank God for internet and looking up lyrics, because I was like, Mo's not. I can't even understand what these lyrics are. Like, thank goodness.
I
for
couldn't
Google.
hear him at the start, but it's trying to portray something, right? It's really trying to portray a sense of distance, loss, well, maybe not so much loss, maybe disconnection or being lost, being far away. Look, it really created the feeling in me of feeling a bit disconnected and lost, because I couldn't figure out what was going on as well, which I think is a parallel to, some of the themes. It's really hard when there's such intensity to figure out what's going on in a relationship.
I was more frustrated from a musician point of view, and which we'll talk about in the interesting tidbits, because it all makes sense when you hear my
it'll
frustration.
come together. Okay.
I was like listening and I'm like, okay, they're out of time, they're out of sync, and I know that My Chemical Romance, early 2000s was post punk, but like skater punk. So I think they're trying to still be like that punk, where punk is you play out of tune, you play out of time. Like we think like 70s punk, the Sex Pistols.
Throwing the rules out the window.
Yeah. But that worked. Where this, I was like, no, this is not working. You got busy drums, you got out of tune guitars, you've got like out of sync, like, the tempo is going all over the place. And
yeah. But it portrays the story, right? Because that is what an intense love affair feels like.
Sure. I guess so, yeah. Out of tempo and out of sync, and yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. And it can, because, when one person's up, the other person might be down.
Yeah, of course.
And then there's this intensity.
When one's fast, one's slow. Yeah, I get it, yeah.
Yeah. So there's something clever about it, but something really agitating about it. It's a hard listen. It's and I'm not sure why. Because it created uncomfortable feelings inside of me. That's why it's a hard listen.
Yeah. It more just created frustration as a musician in me. I'm like, oh, this is just terrible. This is just a terrible song, like terrible. And that's not really my genre. So I am not being completely biased of what I like, but any musician who listens to that will go, oh yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
I feel so bad. We're so damnating this song so badly, aren't we?
But I feel it feels really quite dichotomous to me. There's two parts of it. There's two parts of me. One part of me finds it very clever that they've musically tried to recreate this intensity of feeling of what it might like to be in this confusing, codependent, trauma-bonded love affair, which we'll get to later. Through musical elements, it's recreating that feeling. But then the other part of me is like, I just don't like it. It's just not my genre, and I don't like it. And I just,
it's not my jam.
It's just not my jam. And I'm really sorry, My Chemical Romance people who really love My Chemical Romance, and maybe they would find that success, that they have recreated such a feeling of intensity that it's aversive, and that's success.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, wasn't loving it. Didn't love it. Sorry, Spike. It's probably one of your
Sorry,
faves.
dude.
It's probably one of your faves.
He's like, I'm never listening to this podcast ever again. They just...
Oh, no, listen, we need you, Spike. Please don't give up on us. You are one of like 26, and we can't afford to lose you, mate.
That's it. We'll pay you after the show.
Yeah, right. I've still got some Easter eggs left over.
That's it.
Come round to our house. Yeah, I don't mean to diss it. I don't want to diss it, but it's not my genre. It's not my style. I listen to music because I do want to feel something, but I find like the refrains, the repetition, catchy songs, much more soothing. That's why I listen to music, is to be soothed by, catchy refrains and to feel like good fun.
Yeah.
Good fun. A little bit contemplative, but to have a nice feeling. This did not create a nice feeling. I'm really sorry. It just didn't.
Did it make you feel emotional?
Yeah, and I think that's what it was designed to do. So therein lies its cleverness and its insanity, because it did feel like madness. Yes. Did it make you feel emo, AJ? Tell me.
It made me feel frustrated.
Okay, because from a musical perspective, what was happening? Out of time, out of tune, too busy, chaotic.
Yeah, out of everything.
Sorry, I asked you and then I answered the question.
No, it's fine. Well, and I'm a drummer that likes to play. I can play busy, but there's also a time and a place to play busy. And when it stopped halfway through, I actually thought the song had ended. I was like, oh, okay, it's over, okay. And then it started back up again. I was like, oh, okay. And then because I had it in my car, and then I clicked on the screen. I'm like, oh, this goes for 6 minutes. Oh, okay. And then it went quiet again, but then the drums were just going all over the place. I'm like, oh, no, this is not working. This is not working for me.
Didn't work for us. We don't have to love every song, and that's the beauty of music. And the fact that there's so many people in the world means that there's so many different tastes.
That's it.
And people are creating stuff to meet those tastes, and this just doesn't happen to be my taste, and that's okay. That's okay.
Well,
but we should listen. We should learn about the band, though. Tell us about the band.
Should we get into some interesting tidbits?
Oh my! You stole my bit, and I'm here for it.
That's it.
Tell me some interesting tidbits.
Well,
what do you got?
We have to talk about two parts. I think we have to talk about the genre emo over the years, because a lot of people, well, the big blow up of emo was from like 2004 to 2007, but the emo genre has actually been around since the 1980s.
Yeah,
it's underground, been going around.
I'm looking at you, flock of seagulls. I ran. You know that? Do you know the flock of seagulls hair? You know that song? I ran.
Probably more The Cure.
Yes,
they were probably like really emo back in the 80s.
They were.
Like emotional lyrics and personal vulnerability was like an emo band of the 80s.
It really was. Who else was of that genre?
I don't know these bands, but like Rites of Spring and Embrace, like they were like the first emo bands of like the mid 1980s, which started out in Washington, D.C., which was called emotional hardcore. Hence where emo comes from.
Right. And The Cure were a little bit gothic, but
they were probably gothic. Yeah.
The emotional vulnerability puts them in the emo category.
Yeah. It's more hard. It's more hardcore because it derived from the hardcore punk scene of the 80s. So they just add emotion to it. And then you got the 90s. So then the underground growth of the 90s. Which was more melodic indie leaning sound. Okay. So it was like less aggressive, more musically complex. And then we know the mainstream breakthrough of the early to mid 2000s, which is where My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, Paramore, Taking
No.
Back Sunday, if you know any
Jimmy
of those
Eat World.
Yeah. Bullet for
Yeah.
My Valentine, like all those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And the rise of MySpace is probably where all the emo kids came into the woodworks.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That's right. There was a whole
Everyone's
lot of...
MySpace was that top selfie emo and the hair like over the eyes and all the piercings and yeah.
And the straightened hair, the
You
hair
had to have, like,
straightener.
dead straight. Yeah.
Yeah, the hair straightened hair. And right, okay, so this is early
2000s.
Early 2000s. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So this came out in 2002 from their debut album, I Bought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Which was shortly written. So Gerard Way, who is the main singer, written shortly.
It's not a particularly emo first name. Gerard.
Gerard, no.
Is it?
No,
It's
Gerard, no. Yes, no, it's not, no.
It
Master
sounds-
Gerard, come
It
to the
sounds-
office.
Right. It
Yeah.
sounds a little bit more aristocratic than
It
emo.
is.
But anyway, do go on.
Well, it was actually written shortly after 9/11. So, yeah, the event pushed him to start a band. Like, because
YOLO.
he's like, I'm only going to live one. Like, he actually thought like
YOLO.
the world was going to end. So he's like, I better do something meaningful in my life.
Isn't it
And
interesting
he's like,
how
I'm going to start a
tragedy
band. Yeah.
tragedy drives us to take risks? Tragedy makes us go, life's short and fragile.
Yeah.
And let's take a risk. Let's do that thing that we've been putting off, that we've been too afraid to do, because life is too short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go Gerard. Look at you go. Proud of you, mate.
Yeah, the life is short.
Yeah.
Do something meaningful. Energy, I think, is in this album, and it is because this album was only recorded in 10 days.
Wow.
So super quick. Like it's gritty. It's got unpolished mixes. It's got sudden tempo shifts, as we know. It's got loud,
Yeah.
quiet dynamics. It's a very quickly recorded album, and hence why we feel that in the song is because it was recorded so quickly. They just
There's an intensity.
it was like
There's a
let's just
drive.
get in. We need to get in there, do this album before the world crashes and burns, and at least we have something that we can present to the world and put out there.
So it was driven by fear a little.
It was. It was
and
totally driven by fear. Yeah.
And a facilitative level of anxiety. We need a little bit
Yeah.
of anxiety to
Yeah. And
motivate
urgency.
us.
I think urgency as well, yeah.
Urgency, yeah. Okay, and this is the end result. So no wonder it feels so chaotic. It feels rushed and chaotic.
Because it was rushed. It was. I don't think I've ever heard of like an album recorded and mixed in 10 days and put to a CD in 10 days that's super quick.
It's really like someone was holding a gun to their head.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose world events and the desire to YOLO
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
was the gun.
Yeah, there was a gun.
It was the motivating force to get them to put this thing together, quick sticks, and put it out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's funny,
Okay.
they never considered themselves as an emo band. And they actually hated the fact that people put them in the emo category. They were a screamo punk, horror inspired. So they loved horror genre. And that's, and this album is not, I haven't listened to the whole album, so I'm only going by information that I've looked up. It's not a concept album, but it's like a concept album where it talks about, violence, romance intertwined, death as transformation, Catholic guilt imagery, running away, escape, love as something dangerous. It's got all those themes that kind of intertwine, but not necessarily as a concept story. But yeah,
Well,
there's a loose narrative within those themes that make it.
Yeah, and I think the umbrella that sits all over them is if you don't want to be emo, then don't create something so emotional and emotive, right?
Yeah. And speaking of Umbrella, Gerard Way is the creator of the Umbrella Academy. If you've ever seen that show, or if you know of the comic books. I did not know that. And I've never read the comics, but I love the show, The Umbrella Academy, and I didn't know that he is the creator of it.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I did not know that, and
No.
I just dumped that word umbrella in there, and here we go.
Boom, boom.
So
Yeah.
I wonder where he's made more money, with My Chemical Romance or The Umbrella Academy.
A Netflix show or a band? Well, I'm sure they're both equally, they're equally as popular. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done well.
What a talented dude. What a
Yeah.
clever dude. And what a driven dude to put this first album together in such a short time frame. And yeah, I mean, and look, props to try to honour the genre that he wanted to stay in, the lane that he wanted to stay in, which was the screamo, punk,
horror inspired.
horror. But sorry, Gerard, you've landed emo, and I think that you were there to stay forevermore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He repeatedly rejected, like, despite being one of the biggest emo bands, he hated it. Like, that's like calling, I don't know, calling someone something that they're not, and you're constantly hearing that, and you be like, no, I'm not. We're not that. Stop telling us we're that. Stop putting us in that category. Like, we're not that.
But if it walks like a duck,
if the shoe
and
fits,
and it quacks like a duck,
it must be a donkey.
Probably a duck. Yeah, it's an elephant in the
an elephant.
room
Yeah, that's
for
right.
Gerard. I don't know anything about the Umbrella Academy. What's that about?
Oh, it's amazing. So it's about children that have special powers that were adopted at birth. So they're by an old rich man, essentially. So they they're superheroes.
Creepy.
Yeah,
Is
it's a
there
little bit creepy.
misty moisty morning vibes?
No,
Have we got
I don't know. Maybe.
for our
Previous listeners.
For our listeners who've just tuned in, I don't know what song we were talking about. What episode was that? I think it was Donna Summer.
It was
and,
Donna Summer, yeah.
Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, it was.
No
Two
More
episodes
Tears.
ago. Two episodes ago.
Two episodes ago, No More Tears, Enough is Enough. I dropped a bomb about a song that was on my Fisher Price plastic record player in the 1970s, called Misty Moisty Morning. And, it really had PDF file undertones about it. So the Umbrella Academy, maybe not those undertones, but, an older gentleman that adopts children.
Yeah.
It's shady.
It is. So I'll give you a quick rundown of it. So in 1989,
Please do.
43 babies are mysteriously born to women who weren't pregnant. A billionaire adopts 7 of them and trains them up as superheroes. As adults, they're all emotionally messed up and estranged. They reunite after their father's
because
father's death.
a single father who had who knows what intentions raised them.
Yeah.
Of course, they're messed up. Carry on.
Plus a smart monkey. There's a monkey in there that's like almost human, then talks. And
Okay.
so they reunite after their father's death to have to stop like a multiple apocalypses.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically X-Men if everyone needed therapy. Like they all had their own special powers, and
But they've got daddy issues.
they got issues.
Special powers and daddy issues.
Yeah.
What a combo.
Trauma from childhood, dysfunctional family dynamics, identity and purpose, time travel chaos,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. But they all need therapy because they've got their daddy issues.
So it's dramatic, it's gothic, it's emotionally intense,
Right.
it's a storytelling vibe. Yeah, so it all fits in that.
Yeah. And it sounds a little bit emo. Just saying.
Well, it's very dark.
Gerard,
it's very
you can-
emo-esque undertones.
You can try and get
Yeah.
away from it, but
Yeah.
I think it's oozing out of your every pore.
And if you look at the comics, because obviously the comics are a lot darker than the television series. Like if you look up the illustrations, they are very emo, black and white, sketchy, like real, almost like Tim Burton, like sketchy drawings. Like, yeah,
If the shoe fits.
that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can deny all he wants, but it's emo all the way as far as we're concerned.
Yeah. But it's a damn good show, and I haven't read the
Okay.
comics, but I'm one of those people like I didn't read the books, but the show's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so for any listener out there who likes My Chemical Romance and did not know that, get onto the Umbrella Academy. But they probably do know that.
They probably.
Because usually, you know, people, you know, if you take a liking to a band,
Well,
you
that's right.
usually like just Google them and see
Yeah.
what else they've done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so this is probably not news to any My Chemical
No.
Romance fan.
And it's been around for ages, the comic book. So it's like,
Right.
it's not recent. It was during the whole emo scene, and
Right.
yeah,
Okay. That sounds like a really creative guy.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any more interesting tidbits?
Yes. So, because we always like to know where bands get their names from.
Yeah.
Because My Chemical Romance, where else would you get that name from? But a novel, of course.
Of course.
So it came from,
course.
so the bass player of My Chemical Romance, he saw the phrase chemical romance in a book called Ecstasy, 3 Tales of Chemical Romance by Irvine Welsh. And then stuck the "my" in front of it, and they became My Chemical Romance.
Did Irvine Welsh write Train Spotting?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Who wrote Train Spotting? Hang on. Irvine Welsh. Look at me go.
There you go. Look at all these 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So Irvine Welsh knows a thing or two about chemical romances. Right. Well, there you go. So
There you
that's
go.
where that came from.
Yep.
Well, who would have thought?
So Trainspotting was his first novel, and then Ecstasy, 3 Tales of Chemical Romance was his second novel, which came out in 1996. Yeah.
Yeah. And chemical romance is... Well, okay, what have I got to say about that? I've got a couple of things to say about that, if I could.
Absolutely. Go for it.
So, you know, as humans, and we've been talking about this a lot, you know, I should elaborate in case anyone's jumping in at episode, what are we, 27? I don't know.
27, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, in case anyone's jumping in at episode 27, you know, humans need attachments to survive, right? We need our attachments. Caveman days, we all had to, you know, be attached to people because we wouldn't survive out there on our own with the lions, the tigers, and the bears. And
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
Ermar. Or Gerard Ermar.
Yeah, Gerard. Oh, my. Aristocrats. So... we all need attachments to survive, and you know, we don't necessarily need romantic attachments, but we do need to be loved. We need to be, you know, cared for, thought about, connected, and anyway, if you're a bit of a loner, if you're feeling a little bit of shame's actually something that disconnects people, then you'll find something to attach to. So I don't know if you've ever heard of this thing called Rat Park, but okay, all right. So
No. Sorry,
okay.
no, listeners, I haven't. I'm shaking my head, but no, I haven't.
No, you have not.
No.
Well, and I'm not sure the listeners have either, but I'm going to give you the skinny. I think, if I remember from my training many moons ago. Essentially, if you don't have any attachments, you'll attach to something, right?
Right.
And so we know this because researchers noticed that... I don't know if I'm going to get this right. I'm going to give it a go. Researchers noticed that... after the Vietnam War, there were all these vets that came back from the war addicted to heroin. Or, they noticed that a lot of, you know, Vietnam soldiers, US soldiers, were addicted to heroin while they were over in Vietnam. Of course they were. Like, they had to commit atrocities. Of course. You got to get high to cope with that, right? So what they noticed was that some of them that came back were able just to kick the habit, right? And they didn't go on with an addiction.
Yeah.
And they noticed those soldiers who didn't have an addiction, they came home to good attachments. They had families that loved them. They had a home to go to. They had good friendships. Some had romantic relationships, but they had good, solid attachments. And the soldiers that came home really to nobody, or shaky attachments or emotionally turbulent relationships, they were the ones that had a prolonged addiction to heroin, and it continued after the war.
Yeah, right.
And of course, another confounding factor that we would call it, which is another factor that might influence the results, is that of course they had to commit atrocities, and there would be a lot of shame in that. But when you've got good connections, what you're able to do, or what happens for people, is that we talk about it, and you have sounding boards, and you have people who can say to you, oh, look, far out, you were just following orders. There was nothing more that you could have done. You had to do what you had to do. So you find a lot of forgiveness from your attachments. You find a lot of meaning making from your attachments. They help you talk it through, work it through.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you are the soldier coming home to nobody, there's nobody to help you work through this shame of the atrocities that you've had to commit, the things that you've seen other people do to human beings, right? And so, of course, to cope with the feelings about that, you're going to stay high, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, there is a point to all of this, I think. I'm getting to my point. My point is that you're going to attach to something, whether it's your phone, whether it's, heroin, whether it's cocaine, whether it's ketamine. In the absence of good attachments, you're going to attach to something. It's human nature to want to attach. And they thought, all right, let's try and replicate this thing with rats. And so they created Rat Park. And in Rat Park...
okay.
Yeah.
Is it like Jurassic Park? Let's go through Rat Park.
Hey, listen, I mean, the world was a fun park to the dinosaurs.
That's right.
It could be. But so they created 2 cages, right? And in both of those cages, they had maybe it was cocaine-laced water. And in the Rat Park, they had, lots of both genders, so there was a lot of sex going on with the rats, lots of fun things to play with, lots of entertainment and entertaining things, right? Like an amusement park, right? For rats. They didn't touch the cocaine-laced water.
Yeah,
Even I don't know, as much as this isolated park with just one rat by himself roaming.
Oh, that poor guy or girl.
Right? He was just roaming
poor rat.
the cage. Yeah, poor rat. He was just roaming the cage, and he would take up the laced water. I'm not sure which drug it was. Psychology purists out there, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was cocaine, but
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, and so that's why, Irvine Welsh describes a chemical romance, and this is, a kind of a popular culture description, I suppose, of this thing that we all crave as humans, which is attachment. And in the absence of good, loving, strong, connected attachments, we're going to attach to drugs. We're going to attach to chemicals. We're going to attach...
Negative. Anything negative, really.
Well, what we're going to attach to are things that give our brain the feel-good chemicals that human attachments give it. So, human attachments, romantic attachments give our brain lots of feel-good chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, like all of the feel-good chemicals. When you don't have human attachments, the only way you can get those feel-good chemicals is through chemicals. It's through drugs. So long story short, if you don't have good attachments, you're going to have a chemical romance. Mic drop. I'm done now.
It's funny.
Boom, boom.
That whole time when you said chemical romance, and let's go back to the caveman days, I just thought of like the very first caveman, like finding a cane toad, licking it, and realizing you could get high off the cane toad, and like
Psychedelic.
This is the best thing ever.
Or
that's
eating
what I picture.
those.
It's just like, or finding magic mushrooms. Yeah,
Mushrooms,
like
eating the mushrooms for the first time. Going, whoa, man, what is this?
Yeah. That's all I thought was like caveman. How they're going to get high? Oh,
Caveman,
mushrooms and cane toads.
toads and mushrooms,
Toads
right?
and mushrooms. That's it.
No,
That's their chemical romance.
That's their chemical. Well, no, their chemical was their good attachments that kept them safe and kept their. They needed all of those feel-good neurotransmitter chemicals so that they could keep everybody safe.
And if it didn't work, they just bludge you over the head with a rock.
Right?
I'm sure that it's not working out. I need a new partner.
Just discharge your feelings of annoyance and, find someone new.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Right. Yes. So anyway, Irvine Welsh, My Chemical Romance. Should I get into a bit of a psychological analysis about this song? Have you got any more interesting tidbits?
No, that's.
No.
I'm all tidbitted out. I'm
You're
starting to get emotional.
Are you right? Me too. Me too. Oh my God. So many emotions. Again, I think like, as we said at the start, it is pretty clever how this song recreates a feeling of like intensity.
Yeah.
It just feels intense. It feels.
It kind of. I'm reading the lyrics, and it kind of gives me a bit of Bonnie and Clyde vibes.
Yeah, I think it is it's a Bonnie and Clyde moment. I think it's a Bonnie and Clyde love affair.
Well, it is, because it's like two lovers on a crime spree, pursued and then doomed. You know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah. It's codependency on steroids is what it is, right? I think it's like a trauma bond,
That's what Bonnie and Clyde were. It's like, stick with me, honey, and we'll make it till the end,
Right. And if we're thinking about trauma bonds, it is attachments that are like unhealthy, intense, formed through like shared emotional wounds and pain and fear rather than safety. It's like the magnets of chaos. Chaos attracts chaos. And I'm feeling like this song is a bit of a chaos attracting chaos, Bonnie and Clyde style. And, this trauma bond, I think, there's this sort of identity fusion. They're this one person, right, on this demolition derby.
Demolition Lovers.
That's right. And healthy couples, they maintain their individuality and they don't fuse identities. They don't, create conflict or avoid conflict that they've both created, not between themselves, but external conflict, like with avoidance, like running away from it, like with guns and being destructive. So, it is, it's a very it's mixing up intimacy and intensity, right? That's the vibe that I get, is that we've got this I don't know, I really want to say that love doesn't have to hurt, but
love hurts.
Yeah, no, but this trauma bond creates this chaos. I don't have any other word for it, but it's chaos. And, they're going out all guns blazing. Therapy says, let's process your feelings, but they're like, let's just flee the state with all guns blazing together in a blaze
Mayhem,
of glory.
anarchy, pandemonium, turmoil, disorder, dysregulation, instability,
Oh, mate.
emotional vitality.
So much. Right. It's not relationship goals, is it?
No,
It's like
Havoc, destruction, carnage, bedlam. Oh my God.
this is a relationship with a restraining order. It's not with
That
an
sounds
IVO.
scary. That sounds like a scary relationship.
It is. And I think they've merged, because there's sort of this intense fear of abandonment. And they've merged and become apocalyptic, I think.
They become
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
nucleus that's just ready to blow.
And this intensity disguised as intimacy, or this mix-up of intensity and intimacy, like the romance of it's not romantic anymore. It's drama. It's fatalistic. It's kind of theatrical. It's kind of life-threatening.
Well, it's kind of like we need to rob another liquor store to make this relationship like happening or work, to make this relationship work, or to feel like passion and fire within ourselves that we want to stay together.
Yeah.
We need to rob a bank, or else we'll break up.
Yeah, it's like our attachment relies on risk.
Or bad chemicals.
Bad chemicals. Well, risk gives you a bit of a dopamine high when you take risks. So it's like our attachment relies on that risk to be cemented and solidified. Like, who are we if we're not taking risks and we don't have this intensity?
Yeah.
You know,
We'd be
like,
boring.
yeah, would we still be together if we were
everyday
like
people?
Right, we'd be everyday people. Would we still be together if we were like both body doubling on the couch and you were playing Tetris and I was playing Candy Crush? Probably not. Like, I don't think this relationship.
I couldn't think of anything better.
Right.
I'd be the one playing Tetris though.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be doing Candy Crush. I'd probably be doing one of those little colour by number.
Oh.
You know those ones?
Yeah. Oh, do I know about those? Yep.
Yeah. And that's what a regulated, calm, secure, safe relationship would look like. But no, the lyrics of this song are not regulated. It is even the opening line, hand in mine, into your icy blues, right? So it is like, I'm your eyes are cold and I'm into it. There's something dangerous about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could take the highway with this trunk full of ammunition too.
We could take the highway. Yep. So violence immediately enters, right?
Yep.
We're going to be destructive. Love and danger exist simultaneously.
Yeah, I'd end my days with you in a hail of bullets. Oh, that's Bonnie and Clyde all over. Because they went out. They both went out in a chaotic shootout.
In a all guns blazing.
In an all guns blazing, and they both died.
Yeah. Well, and there is an acceptance of death in this song. Awake and unafraid, asleep or dead.
Yeah.
Right? There's an acceptance of the outcome. Like if we're going out, we're going out together.
It's going to happen. That's right. We know it's going to happen.
There's such a trauma bond, and there's so much risk that it's kind of led to a desensitization. No fucks are given if they're asleep or dead.
Zero
At
fucks.
this point.
Zero fucks. No, yes.
Yeah. Like when your options are awake or dead and they
Yeah.
both seem fine, we've got a bit of a problem.
Fucks. No fucks here.
No fucks.
No
here.
fucks here.
Here, there's no,
No
fucks.
fucks.
Yeah. What about this line? With words I thought I'd never speak. Maybe it's like... Maybe there is an acknowledgement of the chaos, but hey, like you're safe enough for me to be vulnerable. There's chaos here, but you're safe enough. Maybe because we're so alike, you'll get me. So, there's you can hear the words I'd never speak because you're safe enough
Yeah,
because
that's
you
right.
like me.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've unlocked some vulnerability, but they've immediately attached it to a bloody felony is what they've done. They've immediately attached it to risk and mayhem, madness, chaos. Yeah. What about this line? They're teaching me to kill. Who's teaching who? Who, right? Is this like a couple shared hobby?
Yeah. I'll teach you how to shoot and you can teach me how to love.
Right. I mean, I'm all for shared hobbies and teaching each other how, because we do ultimately want to try to be a good influence on our partner and bring out the best in them. That's when we know we're in a good relationship, is when our partner brings out the best in us. Right. But this shared hobby of like, gunning people down, teaching each other to kill, like it's a couple goal, but but not felonies, not crime, team, not crime.
No. But they know that they're not gonna make it till the end, so they're like, we just go hard or go home. And they went hard.
And with this line, they acknowledge that they're going hard. They say, all we are is bullets, right? They really are understanding that together in this trauma bond where we've got this shared couple hobby of felonies, of committing crime. All we are is instruments of destruction. The relationship is... Well, it's not about closeness, intimacy, safety. It's just a bit of a system of destruction, isn't it?
A system of demolition.
A system of demolition, but they accept each other with the line, and I'll love you always.
Yeah.
It's a classic eternal love statement. I'm here for it. It's an acceptance statement. Like, yeah, listen, we're messed up, man. We are violent.
Yeah. We're not gonna survive this.
No, and we're dehumanized, but I still love you and accept you.
Yeah,
which is nice.
That's all right. There's some light at the end of the tunnel, but there's no light at the end of the tunnel at the same time.
Yeah, no. Well, it's eternal love though, because if we don't survive this, we'll stay together forever. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
You can believe what you want to believe, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think it is one way to stay fused forever is to not survive it together.
Yeah.
And they'll still love each other at the end of it.
That's nice. That's nice.
That's nice. So I think, yes, ultimately the overarching Umbrella Academy, no, just Umbrella.
Oh, pun intended. Hey, boom, boom.
Is that, when people are trauma bonded, they confuse intensity with intimacy. True love isn't that. True love is calm. It is grounded. It is safe. It's regulated. We're both in regulated bodies. But I guess it really speaks to, the romantic fantasy, because this intensity is a romantic fantasy that we often hold in like adolescence. This is kind of a teen sort of view of relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't last long.
They don't last long, and they burn bright.
They do. They go through a lot of honeymoon phases, as we call it. Yeah, and then once that honeymoon phase is over, it just kind of fizzles out, and then move on. And to
the honeymoon phase is typified by sort of intensity,
with intimacy, because there's a lot of intimacy in the honeymoon phase.
A lot of intimacy in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
But there's also this fantasy that, like, if someone loves me this much, like, I'm safe. Like, if you're gonna fight for me and you're intense and you're passionate about me, but that's not safety. That's stalker vibes, is what that is.
Well,
yeah.
What is it as a teenager though? I think that's like teenagers. We were teenagers once, and we thought we were Superman and Superwoman at one stage until we became adults and went, oh no, we're actually not. So I think
Yeah.
that's what it also is. There's a bit of a hero complex. Like I can, nothing can stop me.
And you're speaking to this kind of construct. It's sort of that adolescents go through. I think it's called the personal fable, where they just think that
They know everything.
Well, yeah, they know
In
everything.
fact, they know nothing.
They think that they're in a movie and they're really performative. And but if your relationship at any age feels like a movie, just make sure it's not a crime documentary. 'Cause,
Or a horror film.
or a horror film, which
or
is
a
what
thriller.
My Chemical Romance were probably going for with the horror genre.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, it's I'm just gonna close on it here and say that Demolition Lovers it's not a story about connection. I mean, they are connected, but they are connected. But it's a story of a trauma bond where all we know is chaos and intensity and mayhem and madness. Feels like it is it's a normal attachment when it's not a normal attachment. It's actually quite disturbed. So
And I can see where he would get where the lyrics are, especially if it's just happened after 9/11 when this album was produced and when he was writing these lyrics. I can see that where he would get those themes from, because and look, we didn't witness it like the American people witnessed it, because it was their country and they were there in the thick of it. We only saw it through media and the TV and.
But it leaves you with a reckless abandon, right? It's like, well, if something so random and so destructive happens, then screw it.
Yeah.
I'm
That's right.
all in. I'm all in.
If a
to
plane
take
can
risks.
fly into a building, I can go rob banks with my lover.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, if a therapist had one piece of advice for these two, it's like, maybe just start with co-regulation and communication. Just put down the weapons. Put down the weapons.
I was
That's
gonna
not
say,
love.
Maybe start with a bulletproof vest. Or a Ned Kelly suit.
Maybe just start with Tetris on the couch next to each other and
Although
just...
Tetris, like Monopoly, can get heated. You can get frustrated with Tetris.
You can, but here's another interesting tidbit before we close. It's a psychological tidbit. Tetris is very effective in helping reduce post-traumatic stress symptoms after single incident trauma. If you start playing Tetris after you've witnessed a single incident trauma or been in a single incident trauma, it actually changes the structures in your brain. So, yes.
And another interesting tidbit.
Go ahead.
The creators of Tetris, even though it was produced on Nintendo by the Japanese, the creator of Tetris is
Russian?
Russian, yes. You knew that. Okay.
I knew
Creators of Tetris. And how much chaos do they have?
There's a bit of chaos in communism.
So I
and
don't
it was
blame them for bringing
parodied.
out this game,
Right. So something soothing, something for soothing of the nervous system.
That's right. That was their
That's
chemical
right.
romance, was Tetris.
That really was. It really was. What a great tidbit. Yes. Oh, the old MIDI music of Tetris and games of the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go, team. My Chemical Romance, Demolition Lovers. We've got lots of themes of chaos, intimacy, disguised as intensity, risk-taking, trauma bonding, dopamine hits through destruction.
Toad licking. Mushroom
toad
eating.
licking, mushroom eating, Vietnam vets, and addiction, attachment, neurotransmitters, and emo hits of the early 2000s. It's been a pleasure, AJ.
Yes. I need to go listen to some upbeat music.
I think so. Me too. Yeah. But for all intents and purposes, I think My Chemical Romance, you achieved what you set out, what you intended, and you
very
set
much
out
so.
to do, was a feeling of intensity and chaos internally with this song.
Anyone can do that by recording an album in 10 days. So
Correct. Yes, they can, and they did a great job. So, well, I'm signing off from Mo.
yes.
And AJ's signing off too.
I'm signing off from Drum Chucks. Yep.
Yeah, from Drum Chucks. That's right. And I can't even remember what my nickname is. Mo, just Mo.
Just Mo. It was Pop,
Yeah.
but
I
it doesn't
know,
have
me
the
too.
same. It doesn't have the same
No, it doesn't have the same ring.
pizzazz as Drum Chucks.
Drum Chucks. Pop the psychologist. Signing
right.
off. Drum Chucks. I'll see you later. Until next time. Just be a good person and stay regulated.
Yeah, that's right. Don't go licking those cane toads now, will you?
Exactly. Toxic.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Sitting down, we're talking it out. Breaking it down, talks on the couch. Music and minds, we'll figure it out. Laughing and learning what it's all about. On the couch.
Thanks for tuning in to Songs on the Couch. We hope you enjoyed putting today's song under the microscope with us.
And hey, the conversation doesn't have to end here. Join us over on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search Songs on the Couch, where we're sharing behind-the-scene clips, more fun music insights, and of course, chatting with you all.
And if you're an artist, musician, psychologist, counsellor, psychotherapist, or know someone who'd love to sit on the couch with us, have your management reach out. We'd love to hear from you at hello@songsonthecouch.com.
Follow us, subscribe, and let's keep rocking out together. Catch you next time on Songs on the Couch.